Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, June 4th, 2025, 9:30 meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Chairman, do you have any opening remarks?
I do. Good morning to everyone. Thank you for coming and participating. For those of you who have not been here before, the way we conduct the hearings, the manner in which we do so is as follows. First, we will call any adjournments so that we can get people in or out very quickly. If the case is going to be adjourned, the policy of the board is if it's a first time on and there's a request for an adjournment, we will generally grant that request. Then we will get into the cases. The manner in which the hearings are conducted is the applicant makes their presentation initially. Then if there are any people here in opposition, we give them the opportunity to voice their concerns, and we finally allow the applicant to sum up. In terms of evidence, we accept just about everything. This is not a court of law. We're not constrained by the strict rules of evidence. We take emails, letters. Also, if anyone gets up and voices opposition and the person after them agrees with them, you don't have to elaborate. You can say, I agree with the person who just spoke. For your information, some of the cases will be decided today. Some of the cases will be put on reserve because one or more of the board members would like to inspect the premises, etc. For those of you who are interested, you can call the office tomorrow morning to see whether or not there was a decision on your case. All of the proceedings are live streamed. They are archived so that you can refer to them in the future if you so wish. We do have a court reporter. The court reporter will take everything down. We would ask that you, when you come up to the microphone, you speak clearly and relatively slowly so that she can get everything that is said down. And we would also suggest that this is not a debate, folks, so that you don't talk over each other. We'd like to have one person speak at a time. Anything I missed, Patrick? If not, pardon? This one.
Mr. Chairman, I have one case for an adjournment this morning. It's case 27625 Seaford Christian Farkash.
Anyone here on that case? Come up, sir.
Where's the sign-in sheet?
I am requesting an adjournment, sir.
You are?
I'm Christian Farkash.
Okay.
Hold on. Someone else indicated they're here on it. Are you with him?
Are there any other
You're
people?
interested in it, your neighbors or something?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
My name is Christian Farkash, 3769 Brooklyn Avenue, Seaford, New York, 11783.
And the reason for the adjournment, sir?
I had an expediter that was assigned to this case with me to assist me, and 2 weeks ago that expediter was no longer to assist me any longer, so I'm in the process of obtaining new counsel. They need to review the paperwork and appear for this.
Should be six.
Okay. So we have quite a few people here who are signed in as being interested. Would any of you like to speak?
Just about the adjournment.
Again, this is first time on. In all likelihood, we're going to grant that adjournment, but we want to give advance notice. And Patrick, we have vacations coming up. People are going to be away, correct? So we're going to put this off until September, when everybody's back, to give everybody a chance to come in and voice their concerns if there are any concerns. right?
And I know the 5 of you are here on the case, right? I have another person sign, okay.
These gentlemen in the back, okay.
You won't get a new
The-
mailing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and if you, yeah, we'll give you a date now, and if there are other people you want to contact with the date, so be it, all right?
Do I have any ability to voice my opinion in that date?
Yes, you will always have the ability to voice your opinion,
When the case is heard.
right?
Mr. Chairman, September 10th at 11 a.m.
Is that okay? Anybody going to be away
Oh, you're
September
lucky.
10th?
11's a good time, because you don't have to start at 9:30 waiting.
September
Because
10th,
the teachers, it's not gonna be good.
well, if they're teachers, they would have, they might not have been here today. That's at 11.
Are you planning to get another expediter?
So I have an attorney that I'm speaking with, pretty much, he is my representative.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so September 10th, 11 a.m., we'll see you back here, all
No
right?
further notice in the mail, so. Mark
All
your
right,
calendar.
thanks for coming. Sorry the case was adjourned, but, you know,
Wasn't really your fault.
not your fault either. We have things we have to follow. Okay? Have a good day.
Have a good day, folks. You're all free to go now.
Unless you want to listen
Yeah.
to a lot of other cases,
Exciting day.
just to see how it works. Okay, great, great. We have an audience. All right. Any other requests for adjournment, Patrick?
That's the only one I have for this morning, sir.
Go ahead.
First, we have case 27225 Oceanside, Susan Love and Stephen Anolik, renewal of grant to maintain 4-foot and 6-foot high fence and 7-foot high arbor on Skillman Avenue and 4.75 feet high fence on Nantucket Lane, all forward of dwelling which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 1 Nantucket Lane. Mr. Chairman, I have an application for an appearance waiver on
Okay,
this
we
case.
will grant that. This is a residential case. The building department inspected the premises on April 7, 2025, and found that all conditions previously imposed by this board are being complied with. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, we will notify the applicant.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we have case 27325 Near Valley Stream, Yashan Hassan, renewal of grant to maintain professional sign, overall size 10 feet, 10 square feet, 4 square feet allowed, overall height 6 foot 6 inches, 6 feet allowed, setback 6 foot 5 inches from property line on Central Avenue, also known as 2 Arkansas Drive.
I'm Sheikh Saad. I'm the owner of the 2 Arkansas Drive, Valley Stream, along with my wife, Dr. Zishan Hassan. Our house is the very last house on Central Avenue, and if you miss our driveway, it will end up on Southern Parkway.
Done.
That's why 6 years back, I came here and pleaded my case to allow a sign to be placed for, the patients are older ladies and men who, if the sign is not there, may miss it.
Can you speak to the microphone more, please?
Sorry. Yeah. Do I need to repeat it or?
No.
No, okay.
No.
So I'm requesting that, you please grant us to maintain the sign over there, which is there for the last 6 years.
In addition to my passing by your property every morning when I pick up my paralegal, the building department inspected the premises on April 10th, 2025, and found that you're in compliance with all the conditions previously imposed by this board. I would assume you don't have anything else you'd like to add, is that correct, sir?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's read.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Have a nice day.
Next, we have cases 27425 through 27525. Lido Beach, Cindy and Anthony LaPena. Variance, lot area occupied, construct accessory structure, outdoor bar with roof over. Variance, side yard, maintain AC unit attached dwelling. Also known as 228 Lagoon Drive West.
Right. We're going to hold up a second while the applicant signs in.
Rebecca Weavers, 143 East Park Avenue, Long Beach, New York, representing Cindy and Anthony LaPena. So I'm here today to request a variance for the AC unit, which is existing, to be elevated. We wanted to put it on a platform, which then requires to have a side yard setback of 3.7 feet, where we are allowed 5. And the other thing that we are here requesting today is a variance for the side yard for a bar in the rear yard. We want to put the bar at 2 feet from the side property line, and we're allowed 5 feet. Those are our only 2 requests today.
And the lot area occupied, did you give us the number? If you did, I apologize.
Yes, it's the third row down. I don't know if you have the plot plan in front of you.
35.51?
So the house itself is 30.5, the bar is 2.04%. So
How
the
does-
total,
How does that add to 35?
I noticed that on the way here. The patio was not added into that percentage, so it's missing from that because it wasn't,
So the patio is in the 35.51. It's just not in the list here to be added
Yeah.
in.
That's correct.
To show the total actually reconciled.
correct.
How far off the ground is the patio?
So there's an existing on-grade paver patio, and then the masonry patios, I believe it's just about 18 inches.
Becky, that counts?
Yes.
She's got a patio, not the on-grade one, but she has another patio made of what, like concrete?
Yes, it's a masonry
But
patio.
it's 18 inches
18
off the
inches
ground?
high.
It's on top of the on-grade paver patio. I'd have to double check the existing.
Is it greater than 8?
I believe it is.
All right, so why don't we have it on here to come?
That one already has a permit.
I know, but to like it says, the house is 30%.
Yes,
The
no, I
bar is
understand.
2. We can't both talk at the same time. She has to take it down. So to see house is 30, because these numbers, once we deliberate, if we grant your application, the numbers need to jive. Otherwise, the building inspector comes out there later and does his calculations, and we need all the numbers on it right. And to have the max at 35.51 and not have the other number on here, it's just not complete.
I understand.
So I
can
just want to,
revise.
Becky, do you see the issue that I have?
Yeah.
How can we reconcile this? No pun intended.
Is it this?
I guess. I just, we can't leave it.
I can do the math for you quickly.
That plot plan is made part of the exhibit, so that will be the plot plan that the plan examiner is going to use for his approval, so this one will be in the record.
Right, because it says, the house is this %, the bar is this %, the total is this, and those don't add up right, because, like, the patio needs to be in here just to make sure the numbers all reconcile.
You can make a comment that a new lot coverage calculation be provided before it goes back to the plan examiner for approval.
Okay, Christina? Patrick, can we make that note for that case? Then who would be providing that? The applicant?
The applicant would be providing that.
so that these numbers jive, okay?
Understood.
Okay. Then, did you?
The patio in question, that's on your plot plan is 253 square feet?
That's correct.
Okay. And so it shows a BP on it, it's not really a building.
Yeah,
permit.
it already has a permit. It's been closed out.
Okay.
All right, I
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, we have case 27725, West Hempstead, Naomi and Boris Goldenberg. Variance, front yard setback on School Street, construct addition attached dwelling, also known as 295 School Street.
Andrew Shear, 391 Garfield Avenue, West Hempstead, New York, 11552. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
Morning, Mr. Shear.
I am here today to request a variance for Mr. and Mrs. Goldenberg, who are requesting a front yard setback variance on School Street to attach for a proposed one-story addition. The required setback on the corner lot is 25 feet, and we are proposing 22 feet to put a small enclosed porch on that property. The other side property, which also requires 25 feet, Chestnut Street, has a setback at that point of 32 feet 6 inches. So we just feel that the small front yard variance is minor in comparison because of the setback, the large setback at Chestnut Street, and it wouldn't interfere with the corner or anything for the traffic in that area. And that is the only,
And that's your
that's
case.
the case.
Any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Shear, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Thank you, Patrick. Patrick, can I see you?
Aye.
Favor?
Next, we're calling case 290 of 25, West Hempstead, Deborah Freed. Install 10-foot high PVC fence, also known as 384 Woodfield Road.
Hi, good morning. Yeah.
You're here because you wish to install a 10-foot fence where the allowable is 6. And from what I hear, you might abut commercial area, commercial, farm. Okay, why don't you tell us about what you want to install where and why?
Okay, so we are adjacent to commercial property, and we already have a variance for a 10-foot fence around part of their property.
Which part?
It like comes into our yard if you're looking.
If I'm standing in front of your house on Woodfield Street, looking at your house, start me there,
So all the way in the backyard,
okay?
there's part of a property that goes into part of our yard, and we got a variance in 2018 for a 10-foot fence around that.
So that's by Roberto Frederico's. That little piece of Roberto Frederico, which makes your property go like that?
Yeah.
Is it on that piece?
It's around that building that like kind of juts into our backyard.
Okay. What about from his property moving toward Woodfield?
So that's where we want to put the 10-foot fence, where we installed a pool with a permit last year, and you require us to install a 6-foot fence there, but
5.
instead, we'd like to put a 10-foot fence there.
You have the 5 already there?
There's already a wall. There's a wall. We don't have a fence yet. The pool permit is waiting to close based on this. We're required for the pool to put the 6-foot fence, but instead we applied for the variance to put the 10-foot fence there.
Is the wall the neighbors?
I guess it was already there. So we have to put either a 6-foot fence, or if you allow with the variance, we'll put a 10-foot fence.
How far forward from Roberto Frederico's property? So you already jog around the corner that he's, right?
Yeah.
From there, how far forward toward Woodfield Road do you want to come?
Preferably all the way.
To the street?
No, not to the street, until we have the gate.
To the front of your house?
No, it's like a little behind the front of our house.
Okay, so you don't want this forward of your dwelling at all?
No, just until where our gate is, which we have a permit
Okay,
for also.
understood. What about the other side of your house?
There's a 6-foot fence there, we have a permit, it's fully enclosed already.
Okay. Now, tell us why you need this. I'm guessing there are safety, noise, debris, et
So,
cetera issues, but,
there's a few reasons, which is.
pardon me?
There's a few reasons, which is also why you allowed us to do the
You
10-foot
can
fence
put that down if you want.
back in 2018. There's a lot of people living basically illegally in the building that juts into our yard, which is why you allowed us to put that 10-foot fence to begin with. There's other people living on the side illegally in those commercial.
Wait, okay, people are living, so the commercial property to which you refer is Woodfield Center LLC on ours. It's the corner piece.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what business is there?
There's like salons, a nail salon. There's also a party rental store, which is owned by him behind me. That brings me to one of the reasons we want the 10-foot fence is, if you could see in the pictures that I submitted, they have a lot of equipment. He has a party rental, and there's like trucks and tents and
Oh,
big
yeah, I see 'em.
pipes. And it's just all like kind of up against, in the air against that wall dividing us. So there's just a lot of stuff right there.
So it's an eyesore.
A
I
huge
suppose it's
eyesore.
noisy at times.
Also, we just put the pool in. We'd like a little bit more privacy from all the people that are there illegally.
So people live on that property too?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a structure, like, besides the businesses, somewhere in that building?
They made it into illegal apartments.
Okay. All right, is there anything else you wish to add at this time?
Yes, sir. Yes, you did.
That's it.
You want
She
a
said the pool's
question?
not open yet.
But you're Your swimming
Go ahead.
pool does not have a certificate of completion,
Right.
which is of major concern to us. Why didn't you close that out?
They're fully aware that I'm applying for the variance. They said they're gonna wait to close it out until we get the result from this. If you guys approve it, I'll put the 10-foot fence in, then they'll come back to do the final inspection. If you don't approve it, I put the 6-foot fence, and then they'll come back to do the final inspection.
So you don't have the proper fencing on there now?
Well, there's a 6-foot wall.
There's a 6-foot wall in
It's not
between.
hers.
I didn't know that we needed to, my swim pool company, whatever, they didn't inform me that I needed to put that 6-foot fence, because there was already a wall there. I thought we're fully enclosed, we're good to go. And then the inspector came and was like, why don't you have the fence there? Look, it says it on your plans. And I was like, oh, I had no idea. But anyway, we really wanted a 10-foot fence. So can I apply for the 10-foot fence? And he said, yeah, we'll wait to see. So they're fully aware. I've been in touch with them on your website. They're fully aware that I'm doing this.
Okay, one second.
Building inspector has determined that the pool is under, the pool complies with all required safety requirements. as per
Because of that wall.
Thank you.
We have someone here opposed. Would you like to approach Mr. Casagno? Come up,
Thanks.
please. Stand at the podium, sir, and speak into the microphone.
Needs to get sworn out.
I know that. That,
Sidney Cassignol, 334 Locust Street.
I know.
The wall that she wants, the fence that she would like
Can
to,
you speak a little louder?
the fence that she would like to place, I could understand why she wants to place it because she has kids. I am the business owner of Easy Time Rental, which does have the trucks and everything. I do keep everything on my side of the wall. That wall does belong, sorry, that cement wall does belong to the property.
To which property? To your property or
Yes,
her
correct,
property?
Correct, to our
Okay.
property. It is a huge cement wall. We don't have an objection with her necessarily placing a wall. The objection that we have is the way the wall has been placed.
Is what?
The way the fence has been placed.
She has
The
to put it in there.
No, there's a fence in the back. That's a 10-foot fence.
Oh, the
That
existing.
is a foot off our window, under our gutter, and there's vines growing all underneath our roof shingles we cannot maintain. That has been a
That
serious problem.
was,
That,
no, but that
we
was,
should have had at least a 3 to 4 foot space. Even in case of fire, you cannot open up the windows. I have a picture right on me right now.
if you'd like to submit it, please.
So
Yes.
wait, may I ask
But-
you? Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No.
How close is your building?
The fence that was
Hold
placed.
on. How close is the building to the property line? Your building?
The building was built in 1920 something.
Okay.
Their property was put after.
No, I'm asking you how close the building
close?
is
Oh, no,
to the property.
literally, this is why this case is a little complicated, because the property lines are one on top of each other.
But I'm asking you, how close is the building you're talking about to the shared property line?
Right on it.
On it?
That's
Right
what I'm
on
trying
it?
to explain to you.
But I thought you said her fence was a foot away.
I have a picture right here, I can show you.
Well, because if her
Is it,
foot's,
just a
No,
minute.
not a foot
Is-
away. The fence is literally up against the windows, less than a foot from the windows.
The fence that
The
you're,
10-foot fence goes
the,
underneath the gutter in the eave of the
the
house.
fence that you're referring to is not the fence for which this young lady is here today.
Correct.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Well, it goes into the fence that's.
The
blocked
fence,
with
I'm going to
windows.
repeat it. The fence that you're referring to
Yes.
is not the fence that's on the calendar today, correct?
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So that is not something that we can consider in connection with this application.
But it does.
If,
That fence will go to the end.
but it'll
of
go
the
along a
of the
wall.
building,
It will go along a wall.
Up to the
And,
building.
and by the way, you said you had photographs?
Yes,
Are they on your phone?
yes.
We can't accept those unless you want to leave your phone with us.
you have to
That's-
print them.
You'd have to print it and bring it in.
I can print them and bring them in, yes.
Anything we look at, we have to maintain in the file.
No, I understand. This is the first time I
But,
wasn't aware.
listen, the thing is, if her fence is on her property line, that's where it belongs. And I get it's an unfortunate situation, But if she were to say, put her fence a foot or two inside of her property line, she runs the risk of somebody later making a claim of adverse possession with regard to her property rights. So we really can't say, oh, put your fence a foot inside your property line. As a matter of fact, we always grant on the property line.
Even up against the window?
Pardon me?
Even up against the window?
Well, it's not a good situation, I get it, but we can't very well ask her to move her fence inside her property and then basically run the risk of foregoing whatever property she leaves on the outside of it, because then it'll end up getting used by the adjacent property owner, and it's just a ripe claim for adverse possession.
Okay.
So, I mean, I don't know the answer, but we're not really in the habit of granting people's fences, making them move a fence off their property line. You understand what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is.
Anything you'd like to?
That was part of your consideration in 2018, is that their building was too close to the property line. It should have been set in, I don't know what the legal is. Legally, it's supposed to be 3 or 4 feet from the property line. It was right, it was like a foot away from the property line, so you allowed us to block it off.
The fence that this young man is referring to was part of an application that we approved long ago, correct?
A variance.
So the
Yeah.
time to come in, if he was involved there, the time to come in was at that time. It's a different fence, all right? Anything else you'd like to add? Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I would just move, Mr. Chairman, that the hearing be closed, that the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Sir, you and you both.
For the record, I would ask, if you want to submit those photos, you can email them? Okay,
So should I keep the hearing open?
no,
Okay.
unless someone has a question.
Well, until his photos are in. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, Mr. Chairman, I would just move that we keep the hearing open solely for the purpose of receiving the photographs to be submitted by the gentleman here who is an interested party in the matter, and it's otherwise closed.
You also will have to email them to her, right? Would he not?
Yeah.
Would he not? I mean,
Do you care, normally we would have him give you a picture of the photos too. If he gets them to our file, do you want to? Okay.
Oh, that would
Okay.
be wonderful. Also, I don't know if they're different than the photos I submitted to you.
we don't
don't
know
know
either.
either.
We haven't seen it.
Okay, so I could wait here?
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much.
All right.
Next, we have cases 278 of 25 through 279 of 25, Near Valley Stream, Mohammed Afran, mother-daughter residence, second kitchen, variances, lot area occupied, rear yard setback, construct second-story addition, two-story additions and covered portico, all attached to dwelling, also known as 15 William Street.
Do we have anybody in opposition on this case? No.
Mohammed Irfan, 180 Stewart Avenue.
Speak as loudly as you can, okay?
Mohammed Irfan, 180 Stewart Avenue.
Tim Jordan, 74 Cherry Lane, Smithtown, New York, 11787.
And yours, in Stewart Avenue and Valley Street, right?
Yes.
Just wanted to be on the record. Stand it when they don't give me information. Becky?
It's right near the mosque. This is,
Would you like some elevations? I have some.
Who's this guy?
Yes. So how did this case get here without?
Did it? Who did? Who? You're going to present the case?
Yes.
Your name is?
Tim Jordan?
You're not signed in.
I apologize.
You haven't signed in, please. Order in 23.
Okay, first of all. Let's see where they want to choose to.
Mr. Jordan, I'm looking at the photos. Was there a fire at this house?
I'm unaware of that. I did happen to catch on
There was no fire on this.
No fire?
No.
Are these pictures of the right house?
I noticed I didn't know if that was for the house or if that was for the garage, which is going to be demolitioned. They purchased the house in '23. The renovation that we're proposing here is fairly substantial. It's going to be flagged as a new house.
Does your applicant know why it was condemned?
He does not. Do we have any, I didn't catch any record.
Did you know it was condemned?
No. No.
Doesn't look like it.
So until you arrived here, you didn't know the house had been condemned?
No, when I bought it, it was foreclosure. I bought the foreclosure sale.
Right, but I asked you, did you know before sitting here today, the house had been condemned?
No.
Okay. When these photos, who took these photos?
The office took those photos and submitted it, so that would be my wife, Nina.
Oh, okay. And do you know when they were taken?
About 2 years.
Hopefully the debris, is the debris that's pictured here still in the yard?
Here, you want to see the photo?
Yeah.
No.
Ask him to look through that and tell us
Yeah.
anything that today isn't as it was in those photos.
I'm gonna look at this. I'll inspect that bunch.
The backyard has been cleaned.
It's Tim. I'm gonna call you Tim.
I've been doing his paperwork and everything at his Stewart Avenue. I have not been, other than the photos that I've seen.
So you have not been to the property?
I have not. I saw the photos, and I did make a request that the yard be cleaned and fresh photos presented, but apparently that did not happen through the office.
So you told your wife to take more photos than she did?
Actually, I asked her to tell Irfan if he could please clean that up, because I'd like to present better photos.
Have you been in the basement there?
I have not been in the basement. The application itself does account for a open space, finished basement with bath and utility room.
But you've not been down there?
I have not, no.
So we have no way of knowing if what's represented here on the plans is what's actually there?
Well, what's represented on the plans is for, he does not live there at this current
Believe
time.
me, we've seen a lot of plans that don't look in person the way they look on the drawing. Who drew them?
Mark Anthony's office to them, and my wife did the measurements on it. So she's
So-
the project manager on it.
I just want to know who went
She
down there and
did
looked at it.
everything, right?
I just want to know who went down in the basement and looked at it so that it could be drawn.
Does your wife work for Mark Anthony?
What's that?
Does your wife work for Mark Anthony?
Yes, they
Ah.
work. For probably 10 years now.
Okay, I didn't know
You're
that.
going to have to speak more into the microphone.
She's doing this.
Sorry,
It's hard
yes,
to hear you.
for like,
Yeah, if you could pull it closer.
for like 10 years now.
Okay.
Okay. But I just want to know who
I
went
just
down
wanna
and looked
take
at
a
the
peek.
basement so that someone could produce these plans.
I'm looking for the, I can find the yellow.
Have you been in the basement, sir?
Yes, I was in the basement.
Yeah.
Pardon
I
me?
went to the basement. I was with her in the basement. When his wife took the measurement, I was there.
Oh, his wife is the one who went in the basement and
Took the
examined it?
To measurement, yes.
Right, so you're saying his wife is the one who went in the basement and saw what all's down there?
Yes,
Have you seen the plans that were produced?
yes.
And do they accurately represent what's actually there, not just what you intend to have there?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
This floor plan that's before us, that was drawn of the basement, sometimes the floor plan reflects what the people want to do, that's why they're here asking permission. And I just want to know, it right now shows a laundry room, a furnace room, a three-quarter bathroom, a rec room, and some other storage areas. I just want to know if you've seen these plans and if this is in fact what's there right now.
No, it's not there
It's not there.
like that right now.
Is the bathroom there?
Yes.
Okay. What's there that's not on my plan?
I think the laundry room is not there.
Okay.
There was a laundry machine, but not the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any type of kitchen remnants from the prior owner?
No,
So there's no evidence that the prior owner had a kitchen down there?
no.
Okay. Are there any other bedrooms that were created, like separate rooms, or is it all open?
There was one wall
Okay.
right by the stairs. I remember that. It's been like 3 years.
Okay.
We went there first time.
But this plan, you've seen, and this is what you want it to look like when it's all done?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask about the people, John?
Go ahead and do it. Doing it anyway. I said you're doing it anyway. Continue. Go ahead, I don't want to.
All right, so we have some things we just have to go through to make the record.
Okay.
They're somewhat perfunctory, but we need to go through them. So I have on the list of the people who will live there, 6 names. I have Mohammed Irfan, I can't tell the first, Hana Irfan,
Yes.
Abdullah Irfan, Abdulaziz Irfan, right? And they're going to be in the primary housekeeping unit. And where will that be, sir?
Yes,
Where will it be? First floor, second floor?
First floor.
First floor. And the second floor, we have Fatima Irfan, which is the daughter of Mohammed and his wife, and Kashif Majid, the
Yes.
son-in-law. And they'll be in the secondary unit.
Correct. The only one who was unable to attend was Abdul Azam, who was in college in Texas.
Okay.
is he gonna live there when he's back?
Yes,
No other
Okay.
kids other than that, right?
for now. yes.
Not yet. All right. So why don't you go through the variances that you need?
Okay. Thank you. We're here today regarding the mother-daughter, which we just discussed. And we are also here for a couple of variances regarding the lot coverage and the rear yard setback. Due to the additions to the house that exceed the lot coverage and rear yard setback, this property is located in a Residence B zone where 27.5% lot coverage is allowable, and we are proposing for 34.9% lot coverage.
Okay.
That is a 7.4% increase. We are as well here before you for the rear yard setback, where in the B zone is 25 feet, and we are proposing 21 feet, a 4-foot encroachment. Obviously, it makes it difficult to do a substantial renovation when you have a house that is on a 40 by 100. It made it difficult to achieve the needs and the bedrooms that they have for their family. It is a fairly large family with hopefully more coming.
34.9. You're also applying for a covered portico, is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
And will your clients consent to a condition that the covered portico never be enclosed?
With the covenant restriction?
That's
So-
correct.
Absolutely.
Okay.
May I ask you?
Sorry.
It's okay. You have a proposal for a second floor addition, but you also have a proposal for a 2-story addition.
Correct.
Which is the portion that's outside the existing footprint. Can you point me to where that is? There's a lot
So
of.
that would be, if you're looking at the front of the house, on the left side of the existing stoop.
I don't see, it's not clear by this.
This right here.
Does it say that?
I'm looking at the front of the house, which is on William Street, correct? Is it, I found it very small, squaring off.
Yes.
That's 6'3" by 3'9".
Because there's nothing there at the moment, so that would
Is
be,
that the only 2-story addition?
I believe, no, the 2-story off the back is also a 2-story.
The 29 by about
Yes.
23 and a half?
Yes, that's 2-story.
That's all 2 stories.
Yes.
And in addition, I take it, it had a garage, you're planning to eliminate the garage?
Yes. No choice with that.
There are choices. It's a lot of 2-story.
Are aware of the mother-daughter conditions,
I gotta do the VA.
They understand,
consent to that?
they understand, must maintain the look and appearance of a one-family house with
Huge 2-story.
one door, one doorbell, one meter, one mailbox.
And also that should they sell the home or vacate it, the conditions relapse,
Correct.
and they can't pass that on to anyone else. How many cars do the clients have?
So, we've accounted for 2 off-street parking, and I believe, how many cars? Three cars right now,
Is there
maximum
on-street
4.
Any restrictions in parking on the street,
No,
on William Street?
no, there's no
How far is this house from the mosque?
It's like 5 blocks.
I just need to make another portion of the record. So each time someone comes before the board for an immediate family or mother-daughter residence, the Board of Architectural Review reviews that to see if the residence is suitable to use in a mother-daughter fashion and suitable to revert back to a single-family dwelling at the cessation of that use. Oftentimes, they make recommendations like, remove the door at the top of the stairs, put in a hip wall, whatever. And we give the applicants an opportunity to explain why some of those proposed additions or changes may not be feasible for safety reasons, cost reasons, et cetera. In the case of your application, the Board of Architectural Review determined that it was in fact suitable to be used as a family, immediate family, mother-daughter residence, and that it was suitable to revert back to a single-family dwelling with the provision that there be no illegal occupancy in the basement. So it's important that your clients don't end up with any kind of actual occupancy down there, okay?
Yes, understood.
When did you buy the house?
I see on the deed it was in April 23.
Any other questions from the board? Not? Do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Each of you who have signed in will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. Thank you, folks, and have a nice day.
All in favor? Opposed?
Next, we have cases 28025 through 28125 Belmore, Sharon Valente. Variance, front yard average setback, maintain open porch attached to dwelling. Variance, height, maintain detached garage. Use variance to maintain said garage with non-permitted storage above, also known as 402 Farmers Avenue.
Chris Gray, architect, 2401 Capri Place, North Belmore, New York, representing Sharon Valente, who lives at 402 Farmers Avenue in Belmore. Good morning. My client, she had, her husband had built several structures years ago, who is now deceased, and the wife, Sharon, is the one now to in charge of cleaning up all these items that were built without permits. I addressed all items on the property, accessory structures, interior alterations, and some permits have been issued already. We hear before the board, the first item is the detached garage. Now, there is a closed permit for a detached garage of this size, an 18 by 22-foot garage. So there is a closed permit. However, the husband took it upon himself to restructure the roof and made this garage, detached garage, higher than allowable. The way it's situated on the property is that the ground drops behind the garage. So the height of the garage is taken from the average grade to the average height of the structure.
Can you put a car in a garage?
Certainly. Yes.
Okay. Is that kind of a, it's called a use variance because you're using it in addition to putting a car in there for other purposes.
It's a bit archaic, to be honest, I
And-
think, but
Well, you're talking about the term of storage, you say? Is that
Yes.
once the
oh.
garage has storage too and it's detached, it requires a use variance, which I think is a bit archaic.
Okay.
Because most people put stuff
Stove.
in their garage besides their car.
As opposed to a car.
No, it has a door, a car can certainly go in there. So we'll get to that, the term of storage in a moment. So being that the grade drops to the rear of this detached garage,
What's the height
the
variance?
average grade is taken from the midpoint of the ground and then the midpoint of the roof, and the height is 13 feet 9 inches, which is 1 foot 9 inches over the allowable 12 feet.
How long did you say it's been there, this garage?
Excuse me?
How long has the garage been there in this shape and size?
I would say several years. I would say maybe close to 10. It's been a while since the owner had told me, but it's been a while since her husband did this, and he has long passed.
When did he die?
Had the grade been more flat, the garage could have been more in compliance, but this is the situation we have now.
Okay.
Now, on the term of storage, I would like to know where in the code does it say that a garage could not have storage above?
First of all, it's a detached garage.
Detached, yes.
But we can have our expert tell us.
Article 2 definitions of private garage.
There you go.
Yes, well, I have this in front of me. It said, private garage is a building used for storage of not more than 3 non-commercial automobiles owned and used by the owner or tenant of the lot on which it is erected for a purpose accessory to the use of the lot. So just, there is no mention of it just says the storage of a vehicle, doesn't say only. It doesn't mention.
Apparently, the building department interprets that and has for years.
Any other accessory structure that does not that stores anything other than the motor vehicle is not a garage. It's determined to be an oversized accessory structure.
But Becky, if you had an attached garage with storage above, it doesn't run into this problem, am I correct?
No, because an attached garage is an addition to the building.
So, Mr. Gray?
Yes.
In the future, if you have a client like this, take an appeal of the determination of the Commissioner of Buildings saying that a garage is for storage of automobiles only, and appeal the use that they denied you for.
I'm just bringing that to the attention of the board.
Well, I'm
you know,
saying, and you,
this-
Right, but
well,
these-
it's well understood, but if you don't agree with it, which obviously you don't, and kind of, we don't either to an extent, bring an appeal to this board,
I don't agree either.
and this board will make a ruling on it, and then the building department would probably follow that for future stuff.
The future.
Well, we'll cross that bridge
I
when we
just, I'm just bringing it in that there are a lot of unwritten rules that I've been using over the years, because that's the way we
Right,
do it,
but
but,
we don't make the rejections,
okay.
right?
Okay,
So, whatever.
move on.
Just bringing that to your attention.
And I'm just
It's
bringing-
always nice to see things in writing. I like to follow.
And I'm bringing to you a solution in the
Okay,
future.
then, well, that's fine. So just, with that being said, so that is the situation for the detached garage. And then the other item I'm here for, before the board, is that the owner had extended a porch. Now, there's a portion of this porch that is under the existing second floor, a covered section. I believe that was original to the house, and the owner had extended forward from the face of the dwelling an open porch. And that open porch is within the front yard setback. These older properties, the front yard setbacks are all over the place, and on this property, the average setback is 42.5 feet, well into the dwelling. So this porch is into the front yard.
Right, if we were inclined to approve it, would your client accept a condition that the open porch remain
Kept
open at
open.
all times?
That would be fine.
Okay, keep going.
And that's basically our case.
Any other questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion?
Hold on a second.
It is sloped like that, converted.
You have an open building permit for a chicken house?
That's non-existent.
Okay, there are several open building permits, including an open plumbing permit. I would assume that all those will be closed out should the board accept and
That is
and
right.
grant this application.
Are you aware of them, or do you want to?
Oh, yes, no, I have the search in front of me, and there were a few applications that were filed, permits were issued, and they're still open at the moment, so everything will be closed at the same time.
What happened to the chickens?
They disappeared, I don't know.
It was 1931, they would be very old chickens.
But Becky, interestingly, that open permit was issued in 31. I didn't even think the zoning got there by 31. I knew it was like 30, 31, 32, 33, but I thought it was a little later than,
It was 31, was actually.
yeah, well, that's,
Yeah,
I knew they moved across the town, so some areas are a little later, like 32, but apparently, the chicken house in Belmar was doing it at 31. That's
31,
good.
okay. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Gray, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed?
Next, we have case 28225, Merrick, Vincent and Joan Martinez. Variance lot area occupied, construct addition attached to dwelling, also known as 2032 Earl Drive.
Kenneth Long, architect, 870 Gina Court, North Belmore, New York, 11710.
Okay. Go ahead.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Thank you, Pat, for
Morning.
having me today. I'm here on behalf of Vincent and Joan Martinez, who reside.
Yeah, and speak a little
Is that
more
better?
slowly, if you don't mind.
I'll slow down.
You know, you're going 120 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour zone, okay?
No problem. Again, I'm here on behalf of Vincent and Joan Martinez, who live at 2032 Earl Drive in Merrick. Vincent and Joan have lived there since 1985 when they purchased the home. This property is located entirely in a Residence A district.
Res A?
Residence A district. And we're here today proposing a one-story rear addition for a workshop for Vincent. This particular addition is only requesting a lot coverage variance. In the Residence A district, we're only permitted for 25%, which is lesser than most other districts. Here, we're proposing a lot coverage of 30.08%. So essentially, we're over by 306 square feet total for just this one-story addition entirely.
What is the lot area coverage now, without the addition?
The lot coverage currently is, have that. It's about 25.4%, I believe.
So it exceeds the permissible.
Actually, we're at 27, I'm sorry.
So
27%.
it exceeds, currently exceeds the permissible lot
currently
coverage.
Becky, when B went from 30 to 27 and a half, did A go down also? How much, I didn't know Merrick had some Res A. Really? All right.
Learn something new every
But I
day.
don't know, yeah.
That's your case, I believe.
Oh,
Is
no
that
problem.
correct?
I can give a little bit more explanation.
Okay.
It's a very simple addition, it's one story only, whereas the house is improved with a two-story structure. There is no basement at all on the property, so storage is very limited. My client, upon his retirement from being a corrections officer, has gotten into hobby woodworking, and he just carves wood in his house all day. Currently, he uses his mudroom, which makes his wife very angry.
His what room?
His mudroom.
Behind his garage, which makes his wife very angry because there's dirt and debris and dust.
Nothing noxious and offensive, right?
No, nothing at all. It's just literally hand carving of wood.
And he doesn't plan to conduct a business from
No,
that?
no business whatsoever. 17-year-old man is not looking to open up a business in his home.
Hand carving,
He
huh?
hand carves. He likes to
Nice.
make, tables and light chairs, very ornate,
Beautiful.
simple work, corbels. It's a hobby that he picked up over the years, and he loves it.
That's
So
nice.
it's a simple addition. We have more than compliant on side yard and rear yard setback. In fact, the side yard here is required is 5.58 feet, but we have 11 feet. So he's got more than the required side yard setback. We will be at least 25 feet from his westerly neighbor, and he'll be about 40 feet from the southerly neighbor. Again, there's no business here. It's a simple occupancy. He doesn't have employees or anything. It's just a man looking for a little bit extra space to work on his hobby. Any questions?
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, sir.
Any other questions from the board?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second?
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ostrika.
Next, we have case 28325, Woodmere, Matthew and Robin Ostriker. Variances, lot area occupied, front yard setback, construct one-story additions with cantilever attached dwelling, also known as 325 Jordan Avenue. Chair, I have you sworn in from earlier. Just again, your name and address for the record.
Andrew Shear, 391 Garfield Avenue, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Good morning, Mr. Shear.
Good morning again.
Single-story addition.
Single-story addition to the front of the property on a corner property where the front yard setback is 25 feet, and we are proposing 22.4 feet for a 3-foot addition to make the living room and dining room slightly larger. It'll be a cantilever, so there won't be a foundation. We're going to maintain everything, the foundation and the original of the house.
And you want to go from 28.7 to 29.4?
25.4 to 24.4.
Huh. My thing says existing is 28.7, proposed is 29.4. Some, on the grid on the site plan, plot plan.
What is the date on your plot plan?
4/3/25.
Do you mind if I take a look at, I mean, I just want to
The
take a
front yard numbers are right.
Right.
Go ahead, sure. Just matters because if you're, the numbers you're reciting, if we were to deliberate on that and approve it, you might be in trouble later.
Looking on the side street, Bryant Street, is that where you're looking at?
Well, I was just looking at lot area occupied.
Oh, lot area occupied, I'm sorry. Lot area occupied, 28.7 to 29.4.
Right.
Correct, I'm sorry, I thought you were doing front yard setback, that's why
No, because
okay.
you already did front yard.
Okay.
22.4.
Yes, okay, I'm sorry about that.
Anything else you wish to add?
That is all on this. I just want to bring up that they had a previous hearing and a approval of a new house back in 2008, where I just wanted to mention to the board that I'm going to be filing, I'd like to file a modification to the conditions. One of the conditions was that on the southerly side of the property, the previous owner of that house adjacent to them had requested that they put 10-foot living fence up, which they complied with, and they have been maintaining that 10-foot fence for, since 2000, since the house was built. And they'd like to remove that condition. They do have a proof,
Wait,
a letter.
they want to remove the condition requiring the 10-foot living fence and remove the 10-foot living fence.
Correct.
He's going to make an application for modification.
Yeah, I understand.
Does this house have a swimming pool?
No, it does not. No.
It looked like it, that's...
Nope. That is all.
Any other questions from the board? If not, is there a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board renders its decision, you will be notified.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
See you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
And good night.
Next, we have cases 28425 through 28525 near Valley Stream. Claude Similis. Variances, front yard setback on Charles Street, side yard, maintain finished basement and basement stairs, attached to dwelling. Variance, front yard setback on Charles Street, maintain deck attached to dwelling, also known as 27 Alden Ave.
Not yet.
Non-event. Non-event. Why do you get that stuff and I don't?
You're
Is there a reason,
optimistic.
Dawn, that I'm the only one who doesn't get a site plan?
Why are you dissing her?
My name is Ashley Lokianese from Mark Anthony Architects. Our office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore, New York. I am here today on behalf of our client, Mr. Claude Similis, who is the owner and occupant of the subject property located at 27 Alden Avenue in Valley Stream, New York. This property is a corner property located in a Residence A zone and is 7,000 square feet. We are here today as a result of two applications filed with the building department, one for an existing finished basement and basement entrance, and one to maintain an existing deck. The existing side yard setback for the basement entrance is 6.76 feet, where 15.2 feet is required. I'm sorry. Required is 15.2, and what is existing is 6.76. That is without the entrance, right? That is without the entrance. That's to the home, not to the entrance.
It was precipitated by the basement stairs.
No, the number, the 6.76 number, is going from the property line to the home.
And then the basement entrance further encroaches?
Yes.
Well, since the side yard, wait, the side yard variance. The side yard is because of the finished basement and stairs, right? So what's the side yard? Am I correct? To the house, I just want to know what the side
There
yard.
is no proposed, this
the
is all
stairs.
maintained.
Well, yeah, what is the side yard?
So to the stairs,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
2.2 feet.
That's what's causing the variance request,
They
right?
both are, technically. Because to the house, it's 6.76 feet, which doesn't meet the side yard request.
What should it be?
15.2.
Okay,
Because I only have it,
now that's
the
not right.
side yard going with maintain finished basement and basement stairs attached to dwelling.
No, it's not. To the
I'm sorry.
stairs, it's 2 point.
Becky's correct. I'm incorrect. To the house, it's 6.87 feet, and then to the stair, it's 2.2, and side yard is supposed to be 5 foot. I
So
apologize.
2.2 is the one before us. I realize the house doesn't seem to provide, but we didn't get tasked with evaluating the house, right? I mean, mine says variance front yard on Charles, side yard, maintain finished basement and basement stairs attached to dwelling. That's the one variance, so that doesn't have the house in it.
And by the way, for the record, I think you erroneously mentioned the lot size as being 7,000 square
so,
feet.
too. It's
It's just about 6,000.
That's exactly right.
Glad to see you're paying attention.
Two separate plans, that's the problem.
What about,
When they were installed, they were installed prior to my client living there.
And your client got it? When did your client move in or buy it?
I believe in 2022.
Have you been in the basement?
Yeah, I've been outside, I've not been inside of the basement.
Who drew these plans?
My office, so one of the drafters named Sylvia.
So did Sylvia go inside? Or
Yes. I went to the home the day that I was there. The client was unable to meet me, so I just walked to the property.
front yard setback here? 30, existing 30.
Allegedly.
By the corner, front yard
The
setback,
kitchen.
30, 16. Okay.
So we don't have anyone, right now, the basement shows an existing sink to be replaced with a bar sink, and there's a refrigerator, what clearly at some point in time was a kitchen. There's
Yes.
no question. It's laid out that way and everything. Refrigerator, sink, they're changing out the sink. Maybe they took the fridge out, and it's being called existing wet bar to be maintained. And then an exterior entrance, full bathroom, three rooms allegedly, 2 of them are big rec rooms.
when my office was there for the inside.
In the
Would you like
basement?
them? Yes.
Oh, great.
I apologize, I thought you guys had a copy.
Who took the
Who
photo?
took them?
Sylvia,
Maybe Sylvia should have come in.
Yeah.
there's a bit of a language barrier there. Sylvia's right where she's supposed to be. She's the drafter.
Well, that doesn't help us though, if you don't go in.
Can't tell us whether or not they're accurate and we
Yeah, you
reflect.
can't even tell us if they're accurate.
Now, Becky,
Oh,
under the definition of kitchen, this has a refrigerator, a bar sink,
well, it has a regular sink that they're gonna trade into a bar sink.
Yes.
a full
Our-
bathroom with a
That's a kitchen.
shower.
It's a kitchen, the photographs.
Is that by definition a kitchen?
And it has cabinets, lowers and uppers.
Usually, in most cases, the Department of Buildings requires that all the cabinets be removed when there is a kitchen. If they are turning it into a bar, we do allow that in specific cases, but that bar sink would have to be no larger than 9 by 18. So with a depth of about 9 by 18 size and then a deep.
And then there's
I
another
spoke to
room.
Jerry.
Full bath with a
Turning off the air
refrigerator that's,
Refrigerator, the appliance of the refrigerator, we do not usually ban that from the basement.
No, but in the side yard going down to 2 with some illegal stairs.
but the basement, in my opinion, is
In
a
this
kitchen.
case, the Department of Buildings would most likely require that all cabinetry be removed, and if they would like to have a bar sink, it would only be one counter with the refrigerator.
Look at those photos. It's a full-blown kitchen.
Yes.
And then they put an illegal basement entrance in it. It's an apartment down there.
Correct.
Oh, looks like it.
It is. It's got rooms too. Every attribute of an apartment. Do you know how high the ceilings are by any chance down there?
Sylvia knows.
She's not here.
Well, it is, if you put yourself in our shoes, it's difficult because we have no one here to state under oath that the drawings are what they show,
Report to
that's what's
me.
actually there, you know, et cetera. So that's why we keep saying that. So
I understand.
In addition to the building department requesting the modification of the kitchen area, they have widened and they've removed all doors to separation of the rooms and have widened and made archways. I can't see what is on the first floor. I do not have plans of the first floor, but in that case, we usually also would make them either open up the stairway at the bottom of the stair so that it could not be used as an apartment again.
yeah, but it's pretty easy to throw in some sheetrock and a new door.
The height, like you requested, it is 6'8".
How many windows? There's closets in all the rooms. I just want to see where they can get out if there were a fire.
There's not closets in all of the rooms.
There are 2 things that might be windows, I can't tell. The elevator.
Can I just ask Becky again to state what we would have to do to remove the cabinet so I could write it down?
We would request that the top cabinets be all removed
Okay.
and only a vanity-type cabinet for where you're putting the bar sink.
We don't even have the first floor plan. Becky, do you have the first floor plan?
No, they weren't required.
I can't even see if there's a door at the top of the interior stair.
I'm gonna go to the record, yes. They're required.
There is a door at the top of the stairs. I saw it when I was flipping through the photos.
those are not egress windows. They're windows. They're basement windows. No, they're your normal standard basement window. They would not they're not egress windows. They do not comply. No, they're directly on grade. There's no well for them to get out. If they needed to if they were gonna keep a finished basement and you do not allow the exterior entrance, then they would be required to install an egress window. That egress window may or may not be able to fit in that setback. I haven't been out in the field to look. Correct. I don't know. I can't unless yeah. Mhm.
Just a single family. I believe at one time it was they were going to a for a mother-daughter, but based on my clients and I conversation, he believes that the parent passed away before they were able to go through with all of that. There's only one kitchen on the first and second floor. Well, she has pictures of the whole house that I flipped through. No, absolutely, because there are houses that I've seen that have 3. So it's, well, no, I only asked because we have had instances where there's a kitchen on every floor, and when we were flipping through the photos, I only saw the 2. So I do prep with her when. Say that again? No, that's not what I gave what the BZA requested, which
Wasn't
was
part of
just
the
of the
application.
basement, and so that's what I printed out.
Good. Right. You want to move forward with the case?
Sure. Additionally, the rear yard setback, we are here today for as well. It has a setback of 22.6 feet, where 25 feet is required. And the second front yard setback is 16.48 feet to the wood deck, where 30 feet is required, for which we are requesting 13.52 feet of relief.
Sorry, dear.
I only have front yard setback on
We
Charles.
don't have rear yard.
Right, I don't have rear yard.
Is there a requirement for a rear yard setback?
According to my denial, there was.
I only have front yard on Charles. I don't have front yard on the other one. And he's right, we don't have rear yard either.
Dennis denied us for rear
Where?
yard.
What? No.
Yeah, we have the variances.
Is rear,
The basement and the stairs, and the variances that go with the deck.
The deck requires a front yard setback only.
On Charles?
Yes.
Okay, we have that.
what
We have
about,
front yard on Charles for the deck, and we have side yard and, front yard and side yard for the basement and the stairs to the basement. But we don't have any rear yard request, and we don't have a front yard on the other street.
do you require a rear yard variance?
She says she does. She said she has
Well, I know
22.6
she does.
versus 25.
Becky, do we need a rear yard on this?
And what about a front yard on, oh, why not? She says she needs rear yard because she has 22.6 and 25 is required.
That's the rear yard. It's a 1-story, and 1-story only,
15.
15.
Okay, so you don't need
You don't
rear
need it.
yard. Now, what about, she said she needs front yard on the other street,
You need front yard for the deck, needs front yard on Charles Street.
right?
It has a compliant side yard because it's 6.87.
Right?
The entrance needs side yard because it only has 2.2, where it
2.2.
requires 5.
right? And does she, so we are presented with front yard for both of her applications.
Right.
But both are on Charles Street, but Ms. Lowe, you said you need front yard on the other street.
No, I don't need front yard on the other street, I apologize. The only thing that it looks like we are not on the same page about is the rear yard, which I was under the impression that we were denied for, and we have, on our zoning table, we have that.
So
It's
the
supposed
front
to be
yard on
for
Charles,
variance.
At its, which one encroaches more in the front yard on Charles? The finished basement or the deck?
The deck,
Okay, and what's the deck's front yard? I'm sorry if you already said it.
16.48 feet.
And you're required 25?
30.
Oh, that's eight.
So it looks like the zoning chart is incorrect. The site plan is correct, the zoning chart's is incorrect, and that's the only reason why we have a little bit of
The one
confusion.
that's on,
Yes,
do we need it correct?
yes.
Yeah.
They're indicating that the deck, the patio side is a rear yard when that the rear yard is in violation because it's 22, but it's not. That's the
Best
only
way for
reason.
us to get this corrected so our file's accurate.
It was just it was a misinterpretation. There's no reason to change the sheet. It was just a misinterpretation. That's all it was.
Change it and initial it.
Because Becky, if we grant the application or even deny it, it's in accordance with those plans. That's our actual exhibit, and that's the official.
Thank you.
Anything
Learn how to
else?
draft.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Hold on, Ms. Lowe.
I was just going to say, I know that there are a few other items that did not have to come down to the board that we will need to close out
Okay.
all
Okay.
at once, so we are aware.
All right, move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Lowe, you'll be notified by mail
Second,
of the board's decision once it's rendered.
all in favor?
Aye.
And opposed? We're going to take a 10-minute break. All right, we'll be back at 11:18. And for the board members to warm up, and probably most people in the audience as well.
Next, we have case 28625, Belmore, Lisa Shapiro, variance, lot area occupied, constructed one-story and two-story additions attached dwelling,
Not back.
also known as
You will be
2656 Hewlett Lane. Ms. Keenese, we have you signed in from, sworn in from earlier, just your name and address for the record.
Wait, Ashley Lowe what?
Q&As. Q&As.
Oh, I never remembered your numeric name, sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry.
Kianesi.
What?
Q&A-C?
Yeah, Kianesi.
That's fine. I got no problem with that. Take the rest of it up with
Chicken
my husband.
Chinese. Chicken Chinese. Don Pepper.
I am, just under a year.
If you go to a restaurant in Queens by the name of Don Pepe, they have a dish named after your husband's last name.
Ah, he'll be excited to hear that.
Only
It's
they
not a
don't
common name.
pronounce it that way.
How do they pronounce it?
Chicken Chinese.
No.
Yeah, they do. Okay, all right, let's move on,
Keenese.
please.
All right. I am here this morning
Lot
representing
area
for our
occupied.
client, Ms. Lisa Shapiro, who is the owner and occupant of the subject property located at 2656 Hewlett Lane in Belmore, New York.
Is it Lisa or Lessa?
Lisa.
Oh, okay. She left out an E. Should be Lessa.
I guess one consonant should be long.
Go on.
This property is located in a Residence B zone and is 6,028 square feet. We are here today as a result of an application filed with the building department for a proposed first and second floor addition, as well as interior alterations. The proposed lot coverage is 35.99%, where the maximum allowed in this zone is 27.5%, for which we are requesting relief of 8.49%.
That's kind of a high coverage for Belmore.
It is. The existing structure as it exists today is 28.93%, so it is an increase of 7.06% to the house as it stands today. I would like to note that the deck accounts for 5.78% of that lot coverage.
Would your client, even though the deck's not before us, granting this is related to the deck in terms of coverage, would your client accept the condition that they not impose that deck at any point in the future?
Absolutely, we did discuss that prior. I had a feeling that the board would ask about that, so yes, we did discuss that, and she would agree to that.
If we're gonna allow an increase of the enclosed space. If there's a.
Of course, absolutely.
What's the need? Why does she need more space?
The house is just very cramped upstairs, so the ground floor, it's a split. That's why we said ground and first floor, just to make it a little easier. The ground floor is proposed to increase by 426 square feet to make room for a proposed family room and bathroom, and to renovate a portion of a room that will be turned into a laundry room as well. And they're going to make the space upstairs, yes. The second floor is proposed to increase by 252 square feet for a proposed master bath and walk-in closet, and so it's just going to increase. There's only the 3 bedrooms upstairs, and it's basically turning the master into a bigger room with more space, more closet space, because it's pretty cramped up there.
Because everyone was watching those HGTV shows during COVID.
Yep.
And now they all wanna make a nice master suite and primary suite.
Yep, myself included. This is our only request before you today. Everything else is zoning compliant. And there are no additional permits open for the property.
Any other
so-
questions from the board? Not to have a motion.
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Canese, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's written.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good day.
You too.
Next, we have cases 28725 through 28825 near Island Park. Mark Barodi, variances, front yard average setback, lot area occupied, maintain garage conversion to living space, front masonry porch and rear one-story addition, all attached to dwelling. Variance, side yard, maintain AC unit attached to dwelling, also known as 134 Franklin Avenue.
Different.
Lisa Cochillo with Permits R Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, number 396,
Syosset, New York, 11791. Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the board.
Morning.
I'm here representing Mr. Barodi, who would like to maintain a porch and rear one-story addition attached to the dwelling. This property is located in a Residence B zone. The front masonry porch has a front yard setback of 13.7 feet, where the required is 25 feet. The front porch and rear addition have a lot coverage of 34.23%, where the required is 27.5%. The AC unit has a side yard setback of 4.3 feet, where the required is 5 feet. This is a substandard lot of 60 by 85, so any improvements would trigger a variance. Mr. and Mrs. Barodi purchased the home in the late 1970s with the front porch already there. The rear addition has been there since the 1980s. Mr. Barodi has since passed away, and Mrs. Barodi has been moved into a home. Her son is trying to get all of the affairs in order to sell the home. They respectfully request your approval. I have not been inside the home. I've driven past the home to see what it looked like in the front. You're welcome.
I know you said they bought the house in the 70s. Do we have any idea when most of these additions were made?
That front porch area that sticks out, that masonry porch, that they had purchased the home with. But the rear addition, they had put on when they were living there sometime in the 1980s, the son said.
And then they came to know that legalization needed to be done because of the fact that the mother was moving into an assisted living facility.
And they're putting the house up for
Correct.
sale. Yeah, take a peek. It's not bad.
Are they on one of the plates?
Back? No, I don't think so.
No,
Are
I
they?
don't believe, I
No
don't believe
open
so.
permit.
Yeah, nothing.
Because they did the work without permits.
Yeah, that's why they're not open. No, any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on decision calendar. Ms. Kachia.
Wait a minute, hold it. The open porch, do you want a condition on that?
Yeah, I
That
think
it
that
not be
makes sense.
enclosed? Would the
Client agree?
clients consent to a condition that the masonry porch never be enclosed?
Yes.
Given the high coverage. Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Kachia, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have another one?
I will.
No.
I'll be back.
Mr. Chairman, I apologize. I didn't see this one. This was
Yeah.
an adjournment from this morning, but nobody's here on the case. It's,
Nobody's here?
Case 28925, Seaford, Wanda Seal. It was a defective notice.
Yeah. Okay. No one's here on this?
No,
So we
unfortunately,
can't
the
tell-
representative had
Pardon? Pardon?
She had an appointment today that she couldn't make it either.
That was more important. of
Will the
course.
applicant know, do we have are you guys going to let her
So-
know what her
Yeah,
window is?
we will let her know when the adjournment date is.
And her window, her mailing window?
Yes, absolutely.
Just, tell me what date.
So, July 16th at 2 p.m.
Okay.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. July 16th at 11.
11 a.m.
Okay.
Next
Next,
case.
we have case 29125 Baldwin, West Side Donut Baldwin Ventures LLC, doing business as Dunkin' Donuts Install detached double-face illuminated pylon sign, 76 square feet per face, overall size 152 square feet, on existing pole, also known as 1680 Grand Avenue.
Yeah. What's clearance?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Diana Prevette. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Albanese and Albanese, 1050 Franklin Avenue, Garden City, New York, 11530.
Nice to see you. We haven't seen you in a while.
Yes, it's been a while. Nice to see you too.
For some of us, it's nice to see anybody.
This morning, I'm here on behalf of the applicant, which is Westside Donut Baldwin Ventures LLC, doing business as Dunkin' Donuts. The owner of the subject property is Grand Baldwin LLC. The address of the property is 1680 Grand Avenue in Baldwin. Subject is improved with an existing one-story commercial building and a parking area. Today with me is Mr. Ted Ead. He's the sign installer and fabricator. He's with TP Signs. And also the operator of Dunkin', Mr. Daniel Greenstein. If the board has any questions that I can't answer, they'll be here to respond to those.
I just want to, so I can follow along, looking at the site plan.
Yes.
Is that red bar that says pylon sign face, is that the pole that we're discussing today?
Yes, ma'am. The
Yes.
existing conditions,
Yes.
Yeah, the pole's existing, I guess you're just taking off?
the faces, just replacing the faces.
All right, and that's set back 21 feet?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and how much clearance is below it?
It complies as far as clearance. is
15'3".
Yes.
15. Okay.
As the board, I'm sure is familiar with, the property is known on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map as Section 36, Block 395, Lot 519. It's located on the west side of Grand Avenue between Stanton Avenue and Stowe Avenue. It's within a business district of the town. The existing detached ground sign at the property is 6 feet 4 inches by 12 feet, which is 76 square feet as far as the face is concerned, and there are two faces, one that faces north, one that faces south.
Wait, what's Jimmy John's Sandwiches?
That's the reason for the change in the sign facing. Dunkin' and Jimmy John's is owned by the same parent company, and some of the Dunkin' franchises are now adding Jimmy John's.
What kind of sandwiches? Like Heroes, or is it like a Subway sandwich, or is it like? Huh. Never heard of it, but.
So the existing sign that, and the existing pole that we'll be using just had Dunkin' Baskin Robbins on it, because that was the original offerings that were at the premises for sale. All we're doing is replacing the sign facing, because now it's going to be Dunkin', Jimmy John's. A little bit of history, the building was constructed at the property in 1974. I believe it replaced an existing gas station. Mr. Greenstein, who you just addressed, is the operator. He bought this location about 10 years ago in 2015, and when he purchased it, the existing sign which said Dunkin' Baskin Robbins was already there. As you can see from the site plan, it has two parking areas. One is located north of the building, and then there are 7 spaces located in front of the building adjacent to Grand Avenue. The building is approximately 1,800 square feet. Mr. Greenstein has 73 other Dunkin' locations throughout Manhattan, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. He also, of those 73, has 11 in Nassau and Suffolk. There are approximately 8 employees at this location, roughly 3 full-time and about 5 part-time employees. hours of operation are 7 days per week, and the time that they're open is 5 a.m. to midnight. As I explained, the Jimmy John's is owned by the same parent company as Dunkin', and Mr. Greenstein has 6 locations where he operates Dunkin' and Jimmy John's, and 3 of those 6 are on Long Island. This is one of the 3.
May I ask you,
Yes.
we have one letter here in opposition, and it says, "The business abuts residential properties. Any increase, size, or illumination of signage compromises the peaceful enjoyment of our property. The brighter lights at night will inhibit our rest, and the increased traffic compromises our safety." Do you propose any change in the traffic in terms of the hours? And what is the current lighting situation, and how are you proposing to change it, if at all, so that we can make sure we guard against these potential risks that have been identified?
Understood. There is going to be a change in the lighting. The sign is interior lit, but the lighting is going to be changed to LED lighting, which is somewhat softer. Maybe Mr. E can address that.
Good morning. LEDs are a much less Kelvins. The illumination is less. We'll go with a softer instead of a 7500, which is a very bright LED. We'll go with a softer LED to make it a little easier. The hours for the sign to be on, I believe you turn them on during the day.
I believe I checked with Mr. Greenstein, it's 5 to midnight. They're off at midnight.
So at midnight they go up?
Yes.
Now, sometimes we get a lot of cases with lights near residential, and they, to the extent that they're, like, sometimes there's lighting for the parking lot, and they'll veer off and shoot at a house. Whatever you're doing now, do you need right now, in the existing sign, to any way block the lighting from going out?
You truly can't. It's because, the sign has been there for, 30 years at least. It's always been there, the same size. It hasn't been touched by anyone. The difference is we're just replacing the sign face.
All right, so the lighting
To try and
will...
tell you, there's really no way of, because it's facing north and south.
Right, it's on Grand, obviously.
And the setback is 20 feet, so it's really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the light's not going to increase with this change.
No.
And it potentially is lessened a bit because it's softer lighting.
Yes.
Yes, the LEDs
Going to go down to a
are better.
5,000 Kelvin.
And the fact that the sign is facing north and south, one would assume that the northerly side and southerly side are occupied by commercial properties and not residential?
There's one house which is directly adjacent, I believe it's on Stanton?
On the north side of the street.
Yeah, on the north side. That house faces the side street, so the rear of the house is adjacent to the Dunkin'. Right.
Okay.
Right behind the fence for the Dunkin'.
But it's quite a ways away, I hope.
And as I said, it's the rear of the house. I don't recall, there are some windows on the second floor. But again, what we're trying to do by replacing it with LEDs is to make a not as intense lighting. You basically just want to illuminate the sign. You don't want to illuminate the whole parking lot.
Right, are you, and you have a drive-through, right?
No.
Oh, you don't?
No, the drive-through was, we opened a permit for the drive-through, but
didn't
that
act on
permit
it,
was
yeah.
closed without doing the work. They did not do the drive-through.
Oh, because they got it in 22, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, you have a number of open permits, not the least of which involve a 1973 permit for a gasoline station, and
Yes.
another one to install tanks.
Yes, I did write to Mr. Young at the town and asked him, explained that those were all pre-existing old permits and asked that they be closed out.
Be a good idea.
And the most recent one, which was for a renovation that Mr. Greenstein did do, not doing the drive-through, he did an interior renovation and a facade renovation.
24.
That he closed out in 2024, November.
Yeah.
So all of those permits should be closed fairly soon if they're not already.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I basically just want to add the elements I think that I should put into the record with respect to variances, and just a description of the area. For the most part, as you know, Grand is a commercial area, but there is residential behind the Dunkin'. Other than that one house, which is directly adjacent but faces the side street on Grand, this is a commercial area. You have a place of worship across the street, you have a shopping center across the street, and basically strip stores. If we look at the standards for granting a variance, just want to point out to the board that we have 76 square feet on each sign face. Obviously, we're only permitted 32, but this sign has existed at the location, only it said Dunkin' Baskin Robbins instead of Dunkin' Jimmy
Okay.
John's, for, way over 20 years.
Are you getting rid of these ice cream? Or
It's
just
gone.
taking out the sign?
Yeah, it's already gone. He's been operating with the Jimmy John's, and the sign inspector, because we had applied for a variance, let them put a bag over the sign so that it would show Jimmy John's, not Baskin Robbins. So if we don't get the variance, that bag is gonna have to be removed. So whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties if the variance is granted, we don't believe there'll be any undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties. The sign is perpendicular to Grand Avenue, it's adjacent to the entry driveway of the property, and it faces Grand, not any of the residential areas other than that one house, which the rear of the property faces the Dunkin'. The proposed sign is consistent with ground signs located on both sides of Grand Avenue. Whether the benefits sought by the applicant can be achieved by another feasible method. It's not really practicable to go with a ground sign that is only 32 square feet on each face. You'll note from the site plan that the pole is set back and the sign 21 feet, which is a good distance off the road. And in order to provide visibility to cars traveling north and south on Grand Avenue, the sign does need to be larger than 32 square feet. The sign on the wall of the front of the building is actually set back 45 feet from Grand Avenue, so that doesn't help us at all either. Whether the requested variances are substantial, there is case law that indicates that you can't just go by the percentage of deviation when you're trying to evaluate substantiality. You have to look at all of the relevant facts and have a common sense appraisal of the circumstances. If there would be some sort of, drastic effect on any of the properties adjacent, then you might have to consider that. But you also have to consider the sign has been there for over 20 years with the exact same size and somewhat brighter lighting, and other than that one letter, there's really been no, indication that this has any detrimental effect, so we don't believe that it's substantial. Whether the variance will have an adverse impact on physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood, the only real environmental or adverse effect would be visual. We are trying to alleviate any issue with lighting by going with LEDs, which are softer. So we believe that this overall will not have an adverse impact or environmental impact. Whether the alleged difficulty was self-created, in some sense, you can say it was self-created. The one thing we do want to point out is this sign has been there for over 20 years, and it was only when we went to apply for a permit to change the sign faces that the sign inspector indicated to us this sign, the existing sign, the Dunkin' Baskin Robbins, didn't have a variance prior to this and actually didn't really even have a permit. We don't know how that came about since Mr. Greenstein has only owned it for 10 years and the sign was there when he got there, but that's why we're here today. We're applying for the variances because after checking the records, there was no variance for the existing sign or really a permit for it. So based upon all of the foregoing, we think the benefit to the applicant outweighs any detriment to the health, safety, and welfare of the community, and we would respectfully request that the board grant the variance.
So if the board doesn't grant the variance and you have to take the paper bag or whatever bag, you have to remove that, and people stop in ask for ice cream, and you sell them a sandwich, is that called bait and switch?
Big time.
I would think so, yeah. It's going to be a
I
problem.
would think so, too. All right, any other questions from the board? Not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry.
Are you signed in?
Did you sign in, sir?
Everyone seems to be, are you with the applicant?
Are you Frank?
Oh, you didn't check a box, so we assumed you were the applicant.
Okay. Are you, all right. What? No, as your concern is.
Yes, Frank Priolo from RLH Management. We represent Helena Gardens Condominium, which is the property adjacent to Dunkin' Donuts on Grand Avenue. The office address for me is 404 Main Street, Port Washington, New York, 11050.
Where is it? Where's it on the radius map?
Is that all this? Is the property like a T shape? I don't have a name on it.
So our condominium is behind the Dunkin' Donuts. So it's basically, there's a small driveway that's in between the gas station and the Dunkin' Donuts property that takes you to our condominium behind.
Okay,
Okay.
got it.
So, yeah, we're just here to express the concerns kind of voiced in that letter that you read as well, just regarding making sure that there isn't any change in illumination whatsoever, strength of illumination. What was neglected to be brought up during this part of the hearing, we have about 6 to 8 windows that are facing the Dunkin' Donuts. So if you look at our building when we're coming into the driveway, there are windows that are facing Grand Avenue that are facing the Dunkin' Donuts as well.
When was this condo unit built?
Oh, gosh. The early 80s, maybe late 70s, give or take. Been there for a while. So the concerns that the board wanted me to bring up here, the board of directors for the Helena Gardens condominium that I represent, is not only just making sure that illumination doesn't affect the peaceful enjoyment that our residents should be expecting. Also the concern of what would be on the sign, meaning, of course, as it was brought up here, is drive-through going to be added to this or to the property, which would be just expressing a concern, not saying it is or isn't, but of course you could imagine the type of concerns that we would have with that as well.
So you got approved for a drive-through before, right?
That application was applied for a drive-through, but they did not pursue the drive-through.
Right.
I know
The
you didn't put
application
it in.
it's closed, yes, it was approved, but it was closed.
That's what I meant. You were
Closed out.
approved for a drive-through, but you didn't put it in.
No.
Okay.
Okay,
That's
anything
great.
else?
Just here to express concerns. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you very
I
much.
can just hand up for the board.
You heard, by the way, that he's changing to LED lighting, which should be less than it is now.
We're hopeful.
Okay.
Which is good news, hopefully.
Well, I just wanted you to be able to take that back to your group.
I appreciate you bringing that up. You answered a lot of the questions ahead of time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
I move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Everyone who signed in on the matter will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered. So you'll get a copy in the mail. You got it.
Thank you.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye and opposed. Now, why on the next case is...
Have a good summer all.
Thank you.
Next, we have case 131225, Belmore Robert T. Party III and Lisa Gomez, maintain 4-foot and 6-foot high fences forward of the dwelling which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 708 Sunrise Avenue, as well as case 15725, Belmore Robert T. Party III and Lisa Gomez, install pool and equipment not permitted in front yard on Prospect Place, maintain 6-foot high fence larger than pool installation area, also known as 708 Sunrise Avenue.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Barone. I'm from Long Island Perfect Permits. We are located at 124 Front Street, Suite 205, Massapequa Park, 11762. I am the agent representing Robert Party and Lisa Gomez. They are the owners of 708 Sunrise Avenue in Belmore, Section 63, Block 204, Lot 184. We previously presented the case 157 to this board on April 9th, when it was discovered that the fencing photo of the dwelling was not included. An application 25-3666 was filed to maintain the fencing photo of the dwelling and is now included in this variance under case 1312. The original application was submitted for a proposed in-ground pool and 6-foot PVC fencing. This lot has 2 front yards, so any structure constructed in the rear yard would automatically be a variance, as Prospect Place is the second front yard. The property to the south side of the subject parcel has a driveway abutting the fence. My client has installed an 8-foot clear side triangle, so the neighbor does not have any issues exiting the driveway. Although the rear fence on the property line, there is still about 6 feet to the curb. The remaining fence is in compliance with Hempstead's building code. My clients purchased the home in 2021, and they are looking to add the pool for their family to enjoy their backyard. They have spoken to their neighbors, who do not have any objections to the variance being granted. That list of neighbors was submitted at the last hearing.
Let's just go over this fence. So the driveway that belongs to the applicant, they want the fence to go all the way to Sunrise Avenue?
Well, there's a sidewalk and then a curb, so it's not all
Okay,
the way to Sunrise
all the way to
Avenue.
the front property line.
Right.
Okay,
I
and-
do have pictures to show that their fence is a butt to the neighbors' fences.
Okay, but hold on. So how many linear feet is the 4-foot section that is next to the applicant's driveway?
One section, it's about 6
One
feet.
section is usually 8 feet.
8 feet. One
So it's
section.
just one section,
One
that's
section.
4 feet.
Correct.
And other than that, it's solid 6 feet. Now going down that side of the house
All the way to the other end.
to the garage, to the applicant's garage. And then it's hard to see if the fence is actually on the property line there or what.
I mean, it's their fence.
Do you see what I'm referring to?
On the survey.
Looking at the plot plan, site plan, I'm not sure what you called it. The fence appears to be potentially not on the applicant's property line.
Okay, yeah, I do see that.
Okay, so going down there, that neighbor has a driveway away from the fence, and it appears that the applicant has another driveway there
Correct.
to the back of the garage.
They have a driveway in the rear.
Okay, they also have one in the front, too.
Correct.
Okay, so is the fence, it looks like the fence next to the driveway in the rear doesn't go all the way to the street.
No.
All the way to the property line. How many feet is that set back?
Let me see if I have my pictures.
These are critical questions.
It's probably about 6 feet. the same as the other side. Yes, on either side. Uh-huh. Which one? Right, but if they cut it back, there still won't be any, there still will be site issues because the neighbor's fence will still be there. So they put it up to match the neighbor's fence.
So, I'm done hearing about the fence. Do you want to go over the other stuff? Any more? Is there anything else you want to add?
Not at this time. Not unless you have any questions. And I could submit all these pictures. They're just closer up, or if you want them.
Okay. Did you take the photographs?
Yes.
All right. They fairly and accurately present what they purport to represent. Right. The ugly fences. Okay. We'll not worry about it right now. Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Perfect. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Bye. Aye.
Next, we have case 22725, Merrick, Jason Rogoff. Variance exceeds number of stories. Construct third-story addition with balcony attached dwelling, also known as 2757 Shore Drive.
Lisa Koshia with Permits R Us, 338 Jericho Turnpike, number 396, Syosset, New York, 11791.
Mario Contreras from Bello Architects, 6334 Northern Boulevard, East Norwich, New York, 11732.
Okay. Good morning again, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm here representing Mr. Rogoff, who would like to obtain a permit for a third-story addition with a balcony.
Well, excuse me.
Yes.
Is it really a third story? Is this a split-level home?
It is a split-level home.
Okay, so you're not going any higher than existing, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so, I mean, is it really a third story? That's the question. But go on, go on.
Okay. This property is located in Residence B zone. We are here today on a rehearing from May 14th. The board had requested an updated set of plans which had some more information on, which have since been submitted to you. This is a split-level home with an existing third story, and the proposed addition would be keeping in line with the existing dwelling. It would simply be expanding what is already existing in front of you on those plans. Because of last month's hearing, I'm just going to make the statement that the existing basement and first floor are permissible in the flood zone since the improvements are not greater than 50%. There had been a question about that, and I just want to make sure that that was clear. The permitted height is 30 feet, and the existing dwelling height is 28.7 feet.
30 feet from what?
The height of the home.
30 feet from what?
From the base.
From grade?
From grade,
Or
correct.
crown?
Grade.
Okay. Actually, it's
Permitted.
from crown.
From ground, okay.
No, crown of the road.
Crown of the road.
Oh, crown of the road. I apologize.
Because if you're not coming into FEMA compliance, you can't use the FEMA height measure from DFE.
I understand what you're saying. And the existing height is 28.7. The proposed addition is also 28.7.
From the crown of the road?
Correct. Mr. Rogoff respectfully requests your approval.
Actually, what is the height?
See, this says 30 from DFE, but they're not 30 from DFE. They get that height because they can come into compliance. You understand what I'm saying? So on the...
Wait a second, she has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't.
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry, the numbers are so small on this, I can't read it. I apologize.
Are you looking at the zoning box?
I'm looking at the plot plan, because you said it was 28.7, and on here it says 29.7. The height on,
It should be 28.7.
well, on here it says 29.7.
We have 28.7 on the zoning analysis box.
This is the zoning analysis box.
If you can read it.
That's 29.7. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Is it 29.7?
It says 29.7.
It does say that.
It is 28.7.
But that's,
28.7 what? Okay, can I ask a question now?
Okay, it's a typo on the sheet. I apologize, I can't read it. I thought that said 28.7.
So, I have a question. Sure. So in looking at the plans and the front elevation, that seems to indicate that the house is 30 feet, the highest point of the roof is 30 feet from the DFE. But you're not allowed to measure from the DFE if you don't come into compliance, right, Becky? So the crown, see, all I see is the BFE is 7, DFE is 9. Average grade is at 8.1, I think it says. So I don't even know what the crown, I don't even see the crown on here. But even from grade, it's more than 30. Right?
From grade, it would be more than 30. It would.
And maybe crown helps you, maybe crown hurts you. Crown often hurts, but even if we went from grade, that's a height variance. I don't know, Becky.
The proposal is keeping within the existing roof line of the structure. So if you take the ridge height, which is 38.7, and subtract the average crown of the road, which is 6.8, you would come out with a height of 31 feet, .9.
So we need a height variance.
Correct.
How was it constructed to begin with? When was the house constructed?
The house was constructed prior to the change of the code in 2007, where the height was only the average.
Average to 35 or
Correct.
something, right? Well, so when it was constructed, it didn't need a variance. So, that may be helpful here. Christina, it was constructed at this height when it was legal, and they don't want to change the height. Right.
Lower it.
Right. I think that's tenable. Right.
And again, it's built legally. When it was, the house was constructed legally under the appropriate requirements, so.
Well, I think given it was constructed with a permit and it didn't need a variance and they don't want to change the height, I think that's tenable and agree.
Can I also add that if this proposed structure, proposed project was over 50% and they were doing more work and complied with the code, they would be granted this as of right.
Agree. It's just that when they're not coming in compliance, they don't go from BFE, yeah. Okay,
All right?
I'm okay.
I think we can make a decision on this case.
Yes.
All right, anything else you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Everyone who signed in will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed?
Thank you.
It's interesting. That concludes the morning calendar. I think we will take a short break and come back and make decisions, because we have a grueling afternoon. 4 subdivision cases. One of them might be adjourned. What? We have what? Yeah, okay. All right, let's do decisions. The afternoon's going to be challenging, to say the least. All right? All right, so first case, 272 of 25, Oceanside, Susan Love and Stephen Anolik. Renewal of a grant to maintain 4 and 6 foot high fence and 7 foot high arbor on Skillman Avenue and 4.75 feet high fence on Nantucket Lane off of the dwelling, which may substantially obstruct the line of sight. Property address 1 Nantucket Lane. There was an application for an appearance waiver, which we granted. Do I have any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, file number 272 of 25, Oceanside, Susan Love, Stephen Anolik, renewal of grant to maintain 4 and 6 foot high fence and 7 foot high arbor be granted as requested, 5 years, same conditions.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor? Okay, next case, 273 of 25 near Valley Stream, Zeshan Hassan, renewal of a grant to maintain a professional sign, overall size 10 square feet, 4 square feet allowed, overall height 6 feet 6 inches, 6 feet allowed, setback 6.6 feet 5 inches from the property line on Central Avenue, Parkway. Address is 2 Arkansas Drive in Valley Stream. Do I have any questions? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion for case 27325, Sean Hassan, renewal of grant to maintain professional sign, same conditions, 5 years.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next case is 274 and 275 of 25, Lido Beach. Cindy and Anthony LaPena, variance, lot area occupied, construct accessory structure, outdoor bar with a roof over, variance, side yard, maintain AC unit attached to dwelling, property addresses 228 Lagoon Drive in Lido Beach. Do I have any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Okay. I make a motion on case 274, cases 274 to 275 of 25, Lido Beach, Cindy and Anthony LaPena, located at 228 Lagoon Drive, be approved as requested.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Next case, 276 of 2025, Christian Farkash, Seaford. That case has been adjourned to September 10th, 2025 at 11 a.m. Next case, 277 of 25, West Hempstead, Naomi and Boris Goldberg. Variance, front yard setback on School Street, construct an addition attached to dwelling. Property address is 295 School Street. Do I have any comments from the board or questions? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that case 277 of 2025, as you've previously described it, which affects the property located at 295 School Street in West Hempstead, be approved as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next case is 278 and 279 of 2025. Near Valley Stream, Mohammed Irfan, mother-daughter residence, second kitchen, variances, lot area occupied, rear yard setback, construct a second-story addition, two-story additions, covered portico, all attached to a dwelling. I want to hold that case. I'm going to inspect it myself.
Okay.
Which one are you inspecting? 278?
278 and 279 near Valley Stream. 280 and 281 of 2025 Belmore. Sharon Valenti, variance, front yard average setback, maintain open porch, which is to be kept open. Attached to dwelling, variances, variance height, maintain detached garage, use variance. To maintain the garage with non-permitted storage above. There was a large discussion about that, but they're gonna keep open the open porch. Other than that, I think there was a discussion about the characterization of it being a use variance. Do I have any questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion? Joe?
I think council has, before I make the motion to, council has written a comment on garages that because there's storage, minor storage, and it's ancillary to, that's the right word, to the storage of automobiles. This has the capacity to store a car in it.
What we have done in the past, I believe we've amended the caption that it is a special exception because it doesn't rise to the level of a true use variance.
Okay, and also the open porch.
Remain open. But,
So let's have you draft that.
Sure. Yeah, drafted. Draft decision. Next case, 282 of 2025 Merrick, Vincent and Joan Martinez. Variance, lot area occupied, construct addition attached to dwelling. Do I have any comments from the board? If not, do I have a motion? This is a Res A district. Anybody want to
No
make a
comments?
motion on this case?
I move that case 282 of 2025, Vincent and Joan Martinez at 2032 Earl Drive in Merrick be granted as requested.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Next case, Woodmere, Matthew and Robin Ostriker. I stepped out for this case. 283 of 25 variances, lot area occupied, front yard setback, construct one-story additions, plural, with cantilever attached to dwelling, property address 325 Jordan Avenue, and I'm recused on this case. Yep.
I move case 283 of 2025. Location of property, 325 Jordan Avenue, Woodmere, be granted as requested.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed? Cases 284 and 285, 2025, near Valley Stream. Claude Similis, variances, front yard setback on Charles Street, side yard, maintain finished basement, and basement stairs attached to dwelling. Variance, why is there a comma between basement stairs and attached to dwelling? Variance, front yard setback on Charles Street, maintain a deck attached to dwelling, also known as 27 Walden Avenue. Anybody want to make a motion on this one?
I'm not crazy about those basement stairs. I think more stuff needs to be taken out of that kitchen in the basement, because that's clearly what it is. I don't know, when you're going to Valley Stream, you want to take a look at it?
I already have my mind made up.
Just deny the basic
Made up about the exterior staircase.
Okay, good.
Since it's in discussion phase, I don't think the stairs should be approved. I think it's, there was an apartment in there, they had to remove lots of items and to
They
make
haven't
it.
removed them.
They have,
So deny the stairs and remove the kitchen to it meets the requirements of a kitchen.
they did,
Well, would that, is
No.
that not, should that not be left unsaid? Because should we grant the remainder of the cases, would not the building department be required to go in and inspect it?
Well, I think we should speak to it because we have the photographs and the plans showing it. And I just wanna, I think we should just
You want to make that
say-
part of a decision?
I think we should say, or it may not have to be in the decision, but I think it should be a condition of a grant or something, however that, procedurally, however we want to make that happen.
they have applications and what they showed on there, a bar sink
Yeah,
and a
that's true. It was on
refrigerator.
our application. I
That,
forgot.
what was before us was legitimate, assuming that the sink was of standard size as per a bar size.
Yeah, it has to be no more than 9 by
But
something.
they have had, there was closed out, kitchens removed. So that's not really an issue.
Wait, what?
It said the kitchen sink,
Right, but as Becky said, there's all the cabinetry still there. And she said if they were gonna let it be there, they would allow just the cabinet that's holding the sink and the
Yes.
refrigerator. And so I think we deny the stairs, but we also have to speak on some level at least to the
I
kitchen
said
down there.
remove the top tier of cabinets.
Well, how about we just say
That's what they
remove the
said.
kitchen and then whatever the building department thinks that means?
Is that gonna cause confusion with them if they put a bar sink and
No,
keep the
because if
refrigerator?
we say remove the kitchen, then Becky says the building department has a prescription for that. It's apparently a
Okay.
sink not greater than 9-something. And limited cabinets. And so
Okay.
we just say remove the kitchen to come in compliance with a bar per the building department's whatever. And then given that they have a bathroom, didn't they have a bathroom down there?
Yes.
Given that they have a bathroom, we need to not just deny the staircase, but they need an egress, proper egress. And it's a 6-foot 8-inch ceiling.
But we can't maintain the finished basement because it's got 3 rooms.
Well, she said they took walls out or something.
According to Becky, I believe she stated that the doors were taken
And
out
the walls-
archways were made.
Bigger, yeah.
But I think you
What-
pointed out that
Who cares if
it's
they
easy.
put them back in?
What would happen,
it's
what would
easy
happen
to-
if we just denied it in its entirety? Why couldn't
Deny
we
a
do that?
finished basement? How are you gonna deny a finished basement?
I don't
Just
know that you
I'm
can deny
asking
the finished
if there's-
basement.
If there's room, but if there's rooms and a bathroom there,
Well,
isn't
there
that?
are always rooms.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
think
saying.
you
They're
deny
legitimate.
I think you make a condition that they remove the kitchen per whatever the building department determines that is. And we deny the stairs, and I think we make them put a
But
safe.
at other times, we've told them to remove the walls. So why can't we tell them to remove the walls?
I thought that according to Becky, they had sufficiently removed the segregation such that that the building department was comfortable with it. I agree, they'll put them back in. I mean,
point, you can just add
agreed, but that's the case always.
You could put a PS that the board in no way approves the kitchen.
I think the board can also make a condition which is implied that there be no sleeping quarters, et cetera, in the basement like we always have.
Yeah, but if you just say the kitchen must be removed, and the building department will dictate what that is.
Yeah, do a draft.
But
Good idea.
deny the
Draft
I got you.
The
and
stairs.
deny the exterior staircase.
exterior stairs.
And since we have the maintained finished basement before us, we do need to speak to the kitchen.
I think in lieu of the basement stairs, they could put an egress window.
Yeah, that's what yeah.
So it'll be removed, no basement steps, that door will be replaced with an egress window, they have to
And
remove the
whatever
kitchen,
other egress,
no living quarters, et cetera.
whatever other egress they need to meet the
Do you
board's
remember-
requirement, the building department's requirements.
Did they testify as to the age of the exterior staircase? Because in those photographs, it looked like it wasn't that old.
Let me look.
I'm gonna hold it anyway, because I'm gonna go look at that one, and I will
We'll
put
do it.
on my
You can
little
still work on the draft.
inspection jobby, but work on the draft.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't write down a date.
Well, I like pulling up and having my badge and, the thing, and I get excited about that.
Do you have the one for your car?
I do.
Okay, because I was
I
gonna
do.
get you one.
No, what I do in cases like this is I put it above my forehead.
Why don't you
I
just
can
tape
catch
it on
it.
a shirt?
Okay. All right, next case, 286 of 2025 Belmore, Lessa Shapiro, it's not Lisa. Variance lot area occupied, construct a one-story and two-story additions attached to dwelling. Property address is 2656 Hewlett Lane in Belmore. Any
because if we're giving them more expansion.
Any discussion?
It's up to me. It's me.
Yeah,
Hello?
no enclosing the deck.
Yeah,
I thought they,
that 5.78%.
I make a motion, case number 286 of 25 Belmore, Lessa Shapiro, variance lot occupied, construct one-story and two-story additions attached to dwelling, be granted as requested with the provision that you cannot enclose the deck.
I second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next case is 287, 288 of 2025, near Island Park. Mark Barahi, variances, front yard average setback, lot area occupied, maintained garage conversion to living space. Front masonry porch and rear one-story addition all attached to dwelling, variance side yard, maintain AC unit attached to dwelling, a condition that the masonry porch remain open ad infinitum.
And we do those in CCRs, right?
And, yeah, and the other, any other discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion for case 287 and 288, Allen Park. Mark Barati variance, front yard average setback, lot area occupied, maintained garage, and front masonry porch remain open.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next case, 289 of 2025 Seaford, Wanda Seal. Maintain a 4-foot-high fence over the dwelling which may substantially obstruct the line of sight within the clear sight triangle at 2414 Jackson Avenue. That case has been adjourned to July 16th at 11 a.m. Next case, 290 of 2025 West Hempstead. Deborah Freed installed 10-foot-high PVC fence at 384 Woodfield Road. Any discussion?
We did get the photograph from the gentleman who came and testified in opposition.
Right.
You will recall that it's the fence that was approved by this board in 2018, which is not in front of us, but you see,
I mean,
it
it
blocks
would
the
have been
windows.
better if we would have had this photo back
Is
then.
that
Probably
a
wouldn't have
living
granted the
We
10-foot.
probably wouldn't have.
Correct. Is that a living area? That, I believe it is a commercial property.
Yeah, but they said they said that they had
Highly
people
illegal.
living.
Which is
Did
probably
they
the
say
reason she-
illegal?
Yeah, and Becky
Yes.
confirmed it for me too.
That people are living there illegally?
The woman, yeah.
So what? All right, then it shouldn't be living area. Too bad.
Yeah.
Shouldn't say that,
As to,
but-
I'm in favor of the rest of the grant.
Yeah, initially, I went and looked at it. I was kind of opposed to it, but after the discussion and the submission of the photos, I think I would approve it if I had my druthers.
Over there, that commercial.
Yeah. All right. Can I have a motion, please? Yeah, for usual fence conditions.
I make a motion.
Well, wait on, hold on. If she's putting that in.
She's putting the pool in.
Right, and so, right now, she doesn't have any fence there, but she's using the neighbor's wall as the enclosure. But I don't know if we can make a fence around a pool temporary, because it goes with the
No,
pool.
no, it can't. Can't. I
So
don't
we'll
think
have to
it
make
can.
that permanent.
Make it permanent.
For the life of the pool.
Yep. For the life of the pool. Second, who made the
Second.
motion?
Nobody. I make a motion. I make a motion on case 290 of 25 West Hempstead, Deborah Freed, located 384 Woodfield Road, to be approved as requested, with the fence to be, to go with the lifespan of the pool.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
The life of the pool.
Life?
Lifespan is something.
Life of the pool.
Okay.
Life in the pool.
Yep.
Case 291 of 2025, Baldwin, West Side Donut Baldwin Ventures LLC, DBA Dunkin' Donuts. Installed a detached double-faced illuminated pylon, 76 square foot sign, perf is 76 square feet per face, overall size 152 square feet on existing pole. Do I have any comments? The condition, the lights should be on from 5 to 12 p.m. only.
yeah, only when it's open. And I also, I would move that case 291 of 2025, as you've described it, affecting the property at 1680 Grand Avenue in Baldwin, be granted as requested, and no bait and switch. Temporary 5 years.
Temporary,
sign
no bait
conditions.
and switch. Okay. So if you walk in and say you want ice cream and they give you a salami sandwich in your mouth, I guess not permitted. All right. Next case. Yeah, that's right. You go and ask for a sandwich and they put ice cream on your head. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstention? Cases 13, 12, and 1 of 25.
I asked Joe to look at that because of those, the backyard driveway,
Okay.
secondary driveway.
Hold it.
And I asked Christina to look up the neighboring fence to
Yeah,
see
to
if,
see.
if the neighboring,
Well, no.
if the neighboring fence is legal,
Is
then there's no
legal.
point in making these people
Why
cut
make the
down
guy
that
cut it
side.
back? He's got to look at an ugly face
Yeah,
of
I
a
agree. And then it would only
rotted
be the
wooden
other corner
fence.
that should angle.
Yeah.
We have to first find out whether or not that ugly.
Yeah, I already asked her to
Yeah.
look it up.
But if it's not illegal, I mean, if it is illegal,
We can't
Then
make
we
him
have more
do
reason
anything.
why it's relevant.
You have better leg to deny it, but the obstruction will still exist because the neighbors are legal with that.
and
Right.
Oh, he
but
won't
at
take
some
it down
point,
anyway.
It doesn't matter, but we're just trying to be helpful to them and say, if the neighbor's fence is legal, we'll let him keep it there.
why would we?
So we'll wait, no, we
Mess.
just want to inspect it, so we'll just wait for your lookup and then
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
All right, is that, so next case is 227 of 2025, Merrick Jason Rogoff. Draft, yeah, because it really doesn't exceed number of stories. Amend the caption on it, too.
Yes.
Yep,
The plans examiner confirmed that
That-
they measured from the DFE, which they shouldn't have. It's the appropriate measurement is from the town of road, and it
It would need a height
exceeds-
variance.
It would need a height variance, so that also,
But-
if it needs a height variance, we would have to collect a fee on that because we can't,
Okay, well, you guys work that.
yes, but
But the rationale was that
why didn't I look at
it's,
this?
it's not a problem really because
it was legal when
it was built legally and this proposal doesn't change the height. So we have so Christina's gonna write a draft to explain why this is different than all other cases, as both to the height and number of stories. There's two prongs that need to be properly described.
Okay.
That's very good. Becca.
okay. All right. So now, reserve.
I'd prefer not. I'm not into that.
The first case I have an update on is page 1, second case down, 31 of 25. The applicant has their hearing date with New York State with respect to building below the DFE but above the BFE, June 12th. So hopefully we will have an update. The next case, which has been on our calendar forever, we have an update on that. It seems as though it does need an additional variance, but since the height of that retaining wall was on the plans, I do think that we would be able to amend the caption if we collect the fee. It was on the plan, so I don't think anyone's going to, say that there was any.
Right, right.
But that one should be done very soon. The next case, 207 of 25, I spoke to the attorney yesterday. They are in the process of redesigning the plans to hopefully come into compliance with the height requirements, but we're still waiting on that. Okay. And then, I don't know, has anyone inspected case 231 of 25?
I did.
Okay.
Let's say you.
I walked in his backyard, and he did not open his mouth. He wasn't to the back. His car was parked there. He didn't come out, nor did the neighbor. Yeah, I had my badge on, Everybody gets frightened when I have the badge on. Right? You know that. What do you think about that one?
I didn't inspect it.
You did or did not?
It is Rockaway?
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay. Do you want to inspect it? I inspected it. The only thing he did was he screened the concrete blocks.
Oh, no, this is the guy this is the case I wasn't here for. This is the one where the guy started telling you guys you couldn't go in the backyard.
You know what?
Yes, you were absent for the hearing.
I don't really, all right? But that's me.
Does anybody,
have
I
any,
wasn't here for the case.
does anybody have,
I mean, it's a shed, how bad is it?
it's a shed, and he's got screening around the concrete blocks. That was the big improvement.
so we're good?
I'm okay with it.
I make a motion file number 231 of 25, East Rockaway, Angelo DeMio, special exception to maintain shed higher than permitted be granted as requested.
Second.
I second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Okay, so the next case I have an update on is 245 and 246. I did speak to the applicant's attorney yesterday, and they did state that they would be willing to decrease the size of the building. They're willing to put the dumpster outside, but they kind of wanted to see where we were at with respect to shrinking the size of the building. And they also...
The dumpster would be on one of the ends, right?
They could do it that way, they could put it in their parking lot. But didn't you say they weren't really decreasing the size of the building? So, initially, when he contacted us, they were willing to go from 8 storefronts to 7 storefronts, but keep the size of the building the same.
Well, that's pointless.
And then we spoke to him yesterday, and he was willing, you know, again, they want to see where we're at as well, with respect to decreasing the size of the building.
I need,
The plans.
Well, why don't, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have the plot plan in the back.
what I remember as my main concern at least was having a space on the end, one of the ends to put the dumpster there, so it's not.
So not putting it in the parking lot.
Right, and I
Sure.
just don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
No.
But the rats,
That were saying basically that we allow all these strip malls in that area and there's too many in the neighborhood.
yeah, so I think, I don't even care if they have 8 stores, I care more if they make space to have some good dumpsters with an enclosure where the garbage is secure.
Yeah, but without decreasing the size of the building.
Can't do it.
No, but I said,
Couldn't
I
do
don't
it.
care, no, you're not hearing. So first he said he'll go from 8 stores to 7, but not change the size of the building. So I'm saying, I could care less if he has 8 stores, but I need the building smaller, so he can have. Yeah, I mean, if he has 8 or 7, I don't care. I just care that they make it smaller so there's space.
I mean,
Concerns about that place? So 268 was all the signs, and 2 of them are fine, and 2 of them I have an issue with the pilings being made that much wider because they are a visibility issue. So I don't know how to distinguish.
Do we know which sign?
If you want to just pull the thing and I'll point them out on the map. the ones that, yeah, and then they just need to leave the poles narrower. I think there's a solution that might be okay for them, but they're still, and then I also inspected Popeyes. But that's not really relevant right now. I know, as I said, it's not relevant right now. It's all maintained, you're not gonna make them take it down. Don't talk. Air conditioning units, crap.
We grant case 252, 253 in Merrick, Ali A. Khan. Variances for the front yard setback on both streets, maintain addition to the dwelling. A variance side yard, maintain 2 air conditioning units attached to the dwelling. It's located at northeast corner of Smith Street and Washington Avenue, also known as 136 Smith Street in Merrick. I move that we grant these cases.
Second.
What was the concern?
I don't know, but it was fine.
I move, Mr. Chairman, as it relates to case 285 of 2023, we have a request from the applicant to modify a prior condition, which was that he wasn't planning to open each day until 12 p.m. and go till 12 a.m. He's now made a request to modify that condition so that he can serve breakfast and open at 8 a.m. I move that we grant the modification request.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Does anybody, just, let me ask you a question.
Housing Authority to construct their project in Franklin Square. They're waiting final governmental approvals. I can imagine what that's like since it's a quasi-government. And the next one is Chick-fil-A. They're in Westbury. They need 305 site plan. I would suggest that we make a 9-month, a year, grant 1-year extension of time for them to secure permits.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next.
So this was, if you remember from last week, there was an extension of time for Sunny's Canal House
Sunny's Canal.
in Baldwin. Small restaurant that's in the middle of a community.
Take that.
Don't you remember the people came in and they said, oh, we had everything here from, oh, you don't remember that?
I think I wasn't here. Is that the same?
Sunny's in Baldwin? I wasn't.
Literally in the middle.
No, I think that was the time, you weren't here last week. It was the week before, the same time I missed that other case. That morning I was out.
No, you weren't here last week, when we were doing this.
Oh, Sunny's came in then?
No, so they came in for an extension of time, but when we were looking at it last week, they had some issues that they outlined in why they were coming for the request, which warranted further discussion. They talked about the health department, and there were some concerns on that. So we, actually, before we even reached out to the property owners, we went to see what was being held up on our end. I spoke with Danny Leo in the building department. There was a supplement to application 21-12293, which was kind of holding up the approvals of everything. I spoke with Danny. We saw that they actually submitted the supplementals in April. He looked at it that day, approved the supplementals, so they can continue to go forward and close out everything else.
Okay.
As far as the health department concerns go, their approvals have nothing to do with us, but we spoke with the H2M is the one that's applying for everything. They already have all their stuff from Nassau County. They're allowed to operate. There's nothing health code wise that they're violating. So I was thinking that a 3-month extension to hold their feet to the fire, so to speak, would be appropriate.
So we did not do this the last time.
We did not do
discussed
that.
it.
We were holding off until Christina and I
I
could find
wasn't
out
here
further
then.
information.
What's it called? Sunny's Canal?
Sunny's Canal House.
I'll have to go check it out.
Remember Danny Fisher knew all about it when we first had it, because he said it's one of the few that is still open.
So the request is for an extension of time, and because they had violations, maybe we'll give them 3 months and then
Second.
keep their feet to the fire.
All in favor?
Aye.